Hi everyone! This is the first time I'm recording since Hurricane Milton blew through here last week. It's also the first time I've been able to go out and shop to replace some of the food we had to throw out from the extended power outage. We're so grateful that we're all okay here, but we know we dodged a big one. There are many others who were not so fortunate, and I'm making this pot of navy bean soup with best wishes to everyone across Florida. Here I have a pound of dried navy beans that I'll pick over and rinse. No need to soak. Just sift through and pick out any broken, discolored, or misshapen beans. I pulled out about 2 dozen odd ones here. I've preheated the pot on the highest sauté setting, and now I'm adding some olive oil. Then I'll throw in my aromatics and let them soften up. This should take about 7 minutes or so with 1 or 2 stirs along the way. Then I'll add some fresh garlic and dried herbs. I love garlic, so I actually minced up 6 pretty big cloves, but you might be safer sticking with 3 or 4 if you don't really like that much. I'll wait until after cooking to add extra salt since several other ingredients already have a ton of salt. So I want to cook this for another minute, just enough to bring out some fragrance, but not long enough to scorch the garlic. Now pouring in a cup or so of chicken broth to deglaze the bottom of the pot, using better than bouillon here. Make sure you clean the bottom really well so nothing is stuck on during cooking. Beans going in. And then here's the fun part. This is a smoked pork shank, 1 3/4 pounds. I also found this ham shank that's been cut crosswise. I actually did have a leftover ham bone with meat attached in the freezer, but we had to toss it out after the hurricane. Any type of smoked ham or turkey would work here. Either one will work, but I think I'll save the cut ones for another day and use this bigger whole one for today's recipe. This thing is heavy, and look at how much meat is on there. And here goes all the rest of the chicken broth, trying not to splash it everywhere. And try to spread everything around evenly with the ham fully submerged and nestled in the center of the beans. The pot should take about 15 minutes or so to come up to pressure, and this is going to cook on high for 40 minutes, followed by a full natural pressure release, which can take anywhere from 25 to 35 minutes given this volume of ingredients and liquid. Smells heavenly in here. Now it gets to take out the bay leaves and ham shank. Throwing away the bay leaves and bones, but I'll shred the meat into smaller pieces and add back to the soup. You can throw away the skin and fat pieces if you don't like them. We don't mind some, but I don't want anyone to find a mouthful of these chewy cartilage bits, so I'll get rid of those too. So much meat on this shank. Okay, now this is totally optional and only if you like a really meaty bean soup. I also had to throw out my leftover ham that I'd planned to use for this video, but these were on BOGO at the store today, so I grabbed them up, fully cooked, salty, and delicious. All the meats go into the pot, and now I can finally taste it. This was almost perfect, but I thought it needed just a bit more salt, so I added about 3/4 teaspoon here. You may not need to add any, just depends on the saltiness of the meats and the broth you use. There you go, that's good. Tonight I'm simply serving it up with just a little parsley for color, but sometimes I like to add a pat of butter for each bowl or some grated Parmesan. A piece of crusty bread would also be great for dipping. This was delicious and made enough for a generous serving for each of us that night, and also 4 2-cup containers of leftovers to take for work lunches the rest of the week. As always, ingredients, instructions, and any of my notes are below in the description box. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment if that's something you're into. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!